I want to help you balance your long-term goals against your short-term desires. Taking the easy road rarely leads to the long-term success that you're going to desire in any part of your life. I have a ton of clients telling me right now that they're struggling thinking about their long-term planning. I'm hearing things like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so why on earth would I worry about what I'm going to do in my retirement? And that makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I've seen families' lives change in an instant due to a death or sickness. But that's really a horrible way to look at life and especially your finances. Personally, I always like to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Professionally, my job is to help you insure against what can go wrong so we have the luxury in investing in what can go right. John Maxwell said it best: you never have to recover from a good start. And that is so true. So today, I'm going to give you 3 ways you can change your perspective and get started right now. But first, before we jump into those 3 ways, I want you to think of your long-term goals as a series of short-term challenges that you're going to face, rather than an uninterrupted straight line. Break it down. Tackle one thing at a time and check those boxes off of your list. Now let's get into those 3 strategies that you can use today. The first one is I want you to create a future you mindset. Some things to think about on this one. Who is the future you? What do they want? And how can you today help them get there? Embracing your future self as someone who needs you today will help you create a better future with those smart choices you're going to make today. Does that sound a little woo-woo or out there to you? Honestly, it did to me the first time I heard about it too. But it's actually based on the concept called future orientation, which is essentially that you embrace the idea that not only is the future unwritten, but then you can write it, especially for yourself right now, today. And this idea can actually have real benefits. Studies have shown that future orientation is a strong predictor for achievement, health, and happiness in your life. And who doesn't want those things? Let's close number 1 with a quote from a classic movie, Saving Silverman. If you can dream it, you can do it, boys. Number 2, I want you to prioritize flexibility over certainty. As humans, we're all wired for certainty. It feels good to think you have everything figured out, and our instincts tell us to act quickly in the short term to avoid the discomfort that you will feel with uncertainty. That's why everybody sits in the same spot every Sunday at church, or people park in the same spot, or drive the same route to work every day. But I want you to remember, guys, progress over perfection. So what I mean by that is, in a complex world with complex problems, acting quickly and doing your default comfort move is not always the best option for you. You're often going to get better results in the long term by keeping a flexible mindset and experimenting with different options. That's what I really do with my clients on a daily basis. What are we doing today, and how is that going to affect us in the future? And creating tools and resources for you to reach those goals that you're going to have in the future. Number 3, you need to recognize how your emotions affect your decision making. We've all had times in our life when we've acted in the heat of the moment. You've been really happy, you've been really sad, and you made a snap decision right there to do one thing or another. And it may feel good in the short term, but oftentimes when we look back, the long-term consequences of that may not have been the best thing at the time for us to do. In the investing world, this plays out in a concept we call loss aversion. Essentially, it's a cognitive bias that causes us to focus so hard on avoiding losses that we often miss out on the long-term big picture. To sum that up, I love a quote from Mike Moore. It goes like this: emotions are a wonderful servant, but a horrible master. To close this out, guys, I want you to know that the reason you pay a professional like me to look after your financial life and your investments is so that you can share your worries and your discomforts with me. And I'll help you take action based upon the things that you want today, keeping in mind the long-term focus and our long-term strategy. I always tell clients, you pay me to stay up at night and worry so that you don't have to. Again, my job as a financial planner is to help you insure against what can go wrong so we have the luxury in investing in what can go right. If you have questions about your personal financial plan, or you'd like to speak about something else that I can assist you with, just use the form below to drop me a message and I'll respond to you personally.